One Savinelli La Milano damaged severely. Complete with a cracked shank. Who knows what we can do with that. La Milano is now glued and trussed up. It's got some tape around it and a hose clamp and a G clamp to hold the piece down, because it's got some splits that sort of go all over the place. And I've yet to do that one there. Alrighty, we'll see how that goes. La Milano, well, what the blazes happened there? Of course, when I glued the split up, the split went around quite a long way and the whole lot came off. So then I glued the whole lot back on again. There'll be a bit of a step when I start getting the epoxy off there, because it's only just very minor, because of how the briar's actually expanded as it's blown apart. And I'll do a bit of scraping with my pocket knife, get rid of some of the glue and see what that looks like. Now you can see what I mean there. That patch, this bit here, is effectively too small for the hole that it came out of, because when the thing's let go, it's stayed opened up sort of like a flower, I suppose. And in the interest of a thin glue line, this piece has been pushed back into the bowl ever so slightly, as evidenced by the, because that's the surface of the non-cracked bowl, and this is the piece here, and the glue is actually overlapping out onto it. So there's a bit more sanding involved and you lose a bit of bowl thickness, but you end up with a thinner glue line. You can't have an invisible one using epoxy, because if you do, it'll let go at the first opportunity that it gets. It relies on having a reasonable amount of glue there to hold the two pieces together. So a bit more sanding is required until I can level that up. See how it goes. We'll try it right-handed this time instead of left-handed. Roughly sanded. You can see there, I wiped it over with a damp cloth, and you can see there that a couple of little cracks there that aren't filled, which is not going to worry anyone, considering what the rest of it's like. But it's one piece at least. Bit more tidying up required. Well, here's the La Milano stem. as evidenced by the brass line in it. It's got a big chunk out of it. So luckily there was a nice shiny piece of cardboard out of a cat toy. Change hands. Which will, crikey, turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. Which will fit into the draft hole. It's going to have a bit of sticky tape put around it for added security, and then we'll put some epoxy on that gap and build it back up, and it'll almost look like it was meant to be there. So that's boxed and poured, and I've tried to match the epoxy as close to the vulcanite as I can, but you sort of don't know until you start polishing to see whether it's going to be that evident. And if it is, it's a bit in the so what basket anyway, given the quality of, well, the condition of the rest of the pipe. It's getting there. The best way to hide that would probably be to rusticate the pipe, but the point of the exercise is to not do that. And I'll give it a bit of a coat of dark brown stain, I think, and see if I can hide those epoxy lines. And wait for that stuff to set. There's the La Milano, the stem with some of the epoxy sanded off. It's going to need another bit of a coat, and then a couple of those divots filled there. When I get some more glue. Stummel has been stained, and a fair bit of that stain will have to come back off, so that's a mixture of, that's the Moxon brown, that's a dark brown leather stain, and that's a combination of the two. Some other test bits over here with some light brown and some light tan to try and get the colour to something like it was originally. So I'll just have to wait for that stain to set and give it a bit of a sand. So here's a bit where I forgot to turn the microphone on, but anyway, as you can see, I've taken the stain off, given a wipe over with some methylated spirits, give it a bit of a sand, gone back over the epoxy line with some more of the stain, which I will not sand off, and hopefully the shellac coating won't dilate it too much. The bowl is out of round slightly after the squashing and squeezing and re-gluing. That's going to need a bit of sanding to get that back into something that looks round, and the epoxy cleaned off from the inside of the bowl. It does have some quite reasonable grain. Hopefully we can get that to show through. You can not really see where that split in the shank was. So there's the La Milano with brass band. I'll get some light. some filled cracks. The shank glued back together. It does still say Savinelli Milano on there, which you probably can't see. That's what it looks like on the other side, but you can see the glue joint. But let's face it, it was in several pieces. Hasn't been buffed like everything else I've got as yet. Colour didn't go too badly. It'll be closer when it's had a bit of a polish up. So there you go. Looks almost like a pipe again. I'll take some still photos and put that up there. That might look a bit better than what it comes out on the video. Alrighty, see ya.